Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the battle between Team Shanghai Alice and Mr. Mams. As you can see, I'm logged in here, just going to send out this link to everyone, and we can get this show on the road. Let me bring up my Twitch TV link and make sure that people can get that. Make sure everything is working. Everything shows up fine. I can monitor my own chat here with you guys. Shows up fine. I can monitor my own chat here with you guys. Alright, and we are live. Monitor my own chat here. Whoa, sorry about the echo there, everyone. Alright. Let's get everything going. Give them the good to go. And we're ready to get going here between Mr. Mams and Team Shanghai Alice. Mr. Mams bringing the team of Gyarados, Excadrill, Clefable, Arcanine, Espeon, and Drampa versus Team Shanghai Alice bringing Blacephalon, Lantern, Kamoo, Klefki, Chansey, and Ember. So no Mega there for Team Shanghai Alice's team. That is a Mega Gyarados, if I remember correctly, for Mr. Mams' team. So this will be a very interesting matchup with some very interesting possible combinations here between Pokemon. So let's give them the ready to go. Go ahead. Alright, and let's see when they actually get this underway. So we got the Fire Ghost type of Blacephalon, Lantern, Electric, Water. So really, it could be a very interesting, got some good bulk there on the side of Team Shanghai Alice, and some also fragility, as Blacephalon is a very fragile Pokemon, and Klefki and Chansey more on the type of bulk. Ember has a lot of bulk, but it also has a lot of weaknesses too that could exploit that. And of course you got plenty of bulk on Mr. Mams' side with Gyarados, Clefable especially, Espeon, Drampa. Drampa, a Pokemon you don't really see a lot, so it'll be interesting to see what actually happens here. So gave them the go-ahead. Now, a good start here might be Excadrill for Mr. Mams if Excadrill is carrying Stealth Rock. Or look for possibly Arcanine for possible also Stealth Rock, or maybe some offense there from Gyarados if he wants to go set up for Gyarados, Mega Gyarados. And Drampa could be interesting there as well. I don't really know what to make of Drampa. That's the real X factor in this fight for Mr. Mams. What is he carrying for Drampa? What type of sets? That's a Pokemon I've been in 10 plus leagues, and that is one of very, very few Pokemon in the OU and below tiers that I have not seen in a single battle. So let's see, what are they actually willing to bring? So as soon as they want to start things off here, both coaches right now trying to decide their lead for this battle and see what actually works best. Now I know I proposed Excadrill could be Excadrill looks like it's well suited to this match, but no sand coming out from Team Shanghai Alice there. As it's going to be Excadrill and versus Blacephalon. So Excadrill, these two kind of check each other. Blacephalon will be faster because there is no sand. So Blacephalon should be able to get a fire. I'm looking for a fire blast, or possibly, if he wants to go the suicidal route, a mind blown. And there's a flamethrower. Okay, that's the safe route there, going into Drampa. Drampa, the normal dragon type. And you can see a nice nickname there, Bolus, harkening back to one of our league members, Bolus, am I right, in a different league. Also, possibly referring to Nicole Bolus, the Planeswalker from Magic the Gathering, which is a dragon as well. But Drampa now, as you can see, it's very bulky. It was able to take that flamethrower for about 17%, and is carrying leftovers, was revealed by the heal at the end of the turn for 6%. So we've already revealed a flamethrower from Blacephalon, which is kind of standard for Blacephalon. You expect Blacephalon, you know it's going to carry a fire type attack, whether it's Fire Blast, Flamethrower is a safe choice, or if they want to go the suicidal route and hyper offense, there's Mind Blown, which I think is 140 base power, 100 accuracy, but you take 50% damage to be able to get it off. That's no matter how much damage Mind Blown actually does. It's not like recoil damage, but it's a flat 50% right after the attack. And I don't know if they call it recoil, but that is just part of the attack there, so you can only use it a maximum of 2 times before Blacephalon is out of the fight, if Blacephalon is not carrying any type of recovery, like a leftovers, like a berry, or any other sort of thing like that. Now, with Bolus out, he probably is going to end up switching Blacephalon. There's Chansey coming out, Toxic onto Chansey. Very good move there by Mr. Mams, predicting the switch. And even if he didn't predict a switch, Toxic will still be very good on Blacephalon as well, because Blacephalon does not have a whole lot of HP. Toxic, although it only chips down a set percent each turn, and that percentage does continue to double, 6, 12, 18, and so forth, and not double, but up by 6% every turn. So Blacephalon coming back out now instead of Chansey, and Espeon in the same turn, switching out of their Mr. Man. So 158 turn match, nickname for Espeon, referring to a match earlier this league where it went the distance and went quite a long ways there, 158 turns. Thanks in large part to that Espeon and what it was able to do for this battle. For that battle, I should say. But Blacephalon now, it looks to be in a good spot with, if it has a ghost type move, commonly carrying Shadow Ball, which also gets a stab bonus from the fire ghost type. So, but no, we're getting a substitute coming out, and expecting the Shadow Ball, Espeon goes for a recovery move, Morning Sun. Of course, doesn't get it off because it doesn't get eat a Shadow Ball. Now Blacephalon goes for a Shadow Ball into the Drampa. Drampa, of course, a normal type, takes no damage from Shadow Ball. Will-O-Wisp will burn Drampa, and Drampa retaliates with a Dragon Pulse there. Of course, stab bonus from the partial Dragon type that is Drampa. Now Blacephalon with no substitute in place, switches out for Klefki, and a Fire Blast coming out from Drampa will be super effective on the Klefki. So Klefki is going to have to switch or get something off here, because it's not going to be able to eat another Fire Blast. And it's Kamo coming out. A Dragon Pulse there would have been a very good move and would have hit Kamo for quite a lot of damage. But no, a switch into Espeon also still checks Kamo, because Kamo is part fighting type. So it will take super effective damage from the Espeon there. Tickle coming out from Espeon. Very interesting there. That lowers Kamoo's attack and defense by 1 stage each. And Kamoo going off with a poison jab to poison, 30% chance to poison, does get the poison off on Espeon. Kamoo switching out now for Blacephalon and recover coming out of Espeon. Morning Sun is that recovery of choice, so maybe anticipating some Sun coming out. Shadow Ball there would have been super effective on the Espeon, but a good switch there into the Drampa to eat that Shadow Ball for no damage whatsoever. Immunity on that normal type. So Chansey going to come back out here now. Toxic onto Chansey. Chansey must have, I think it's Healer, because it healed the Toxic that it previously had out of when it switched out. So Chansey will not be able to will not retain any negative status types or any status moves whatsoever, because it will, whenever it switches out, it will get rid of those, whether it's Sleep, Toxic, Paralysis, etc. So Seismic Toss there coming out of Chansey. You know that's a pretty standard attack move from Chansey. That's one of the very few attack moves that Chansey naturally has. There's the Natural Cure. So, sorry, it wasn't Healer, it was a Natural Cure. But it does heal Chansey whenever it switches. Blacephalon coming up here now to pressure the Espeon. A Shadow Ball would, of course, as I said earlier, be super effective against Espeon. And he knows that, so is this going to be another switch to Drampa? And if it is, then how is Team Shanghai Alice going to continue to counter this, knowing that whenever it's Blacephalon versus Espeon, the obvious move is to switch out Espeon and put in Drampa. Now, if you know Drampa's coming in, what do you counter Drampa with? One move might be Klefki, one move might be Kamoo, because both types would be super effective against Drampa. Dragon is super effective against Dragon, and of course the Fairy type of Klefki is super effective against Drampa. So really, now so we went through that. There's, okay, Chansey coming out here, and it's Arcanine, not Drampa. So Arcanine would have taken quite a bit of damage there from a Shadow Ball off of Blacephalon, but maybe anticipating that Blacephalon was going to switch, instead switched out into Arcanine there, and Arcanine with an Intimidate coming off against Chansey. Well, Chansey doesn't have very good attack to begin with. Really carries Seismic Toss, because that is a set damage each time, 100 damage points. So it doesn't really affect it with the Intimidate. But so Espeon coming back out here now. It's going to go up against a Lantern of Team Shanghai Alice. Now Lantern, an interesting choice here. It could carry Thunderbolt, could carry Surf, more a special attacker than a physical attacker. And Espeon, these two kind of do neutral damage to each other. So it's hard to say which one would have a high upper hand if this were a one-on-one match. It's not. Both teams still at full health, full 6 Pokemon. Although I would give a very, very slight edge to Team Shanghai Alice there, because there are a lot of status effects on Mr. Mams' Pokemon. But Chansey coming back out now for Lantern, and of course Drampa coming out for Espeon. Excadrill coming out. Eats a Seismic Toss for about 25% there. And Chansey staying up. So really no reason to switch Chansey right now, but where he do it, eats an Earthquake, 55%, lives at 3% there. Stealth Rock. That's going to pressure any switches from Excadrill. Klefki comes out, eats an Earthquake, super effective against a Steel type that is Klefki, and that's down, so 1 down there for Team Shanghai Alice. Blacephalon comes out, gets a Flamethrower off on Drampa. Of course, Drampa is burned, so it's essentially going to negate the HP gain that would be leftovers. Drampa revealing Roost, so it does have recovery there, so it is going to look to stay in this battle quite a long time. Emboar coming out now. You can see it's a shiny Emboar. nice blue type for the blue flames, which if you know quite a bit about science, or really much of anything about science, blue flames are hotter than red. But that's just Science 101 for you. Flame Charge coming out on the Arcanine. Hurt by Rocky Helmet. Of course, Flame Charge does have a 100% chance of raising your speed by 1 stage. But Arcanine just eats that for breakfast, taking only 7%. In fact, Emboar took more damage from the Rocky Helmet than Arcanine did from the Flame Charge. The Flame Charge, I think, only about 60 or 70 base power. I think only about 60 base power. So not a very strong move to begin with. But it does, as I said, that after effect is a 100% chance to raise your speed by 1 stage, which is very helpful for a Pokemon who's not naturally fast like Emboar is. But Emboar down 1 attack stage, so it's probably not going to stay in this battle for too much longer against Arcanine. Unless it knows like a ground type move or something, I don't think it'll be pressuring Arcanine anytime soon. So we'll see what he decides to do with Emboar. Maybe switch Emboar into Lantern, although is that too obvious then that he's going into Lantern or Kommo-o? I really don't think he'd be switching into Blacephalon. Chansey, he's going for a Z power. That's Waterium Z. Hydro Vortex, super effective against Arcanine, so no Arcanine now for Mr. Mams, and no Z move for Team Shanghai Alice. So really, not even I saw that one coming. I'm going to have to figure out what Hydro Vortex actually was, what move Hydro Vortex came from. But now Gyarados coming out here, so it's going to be a Mega Gyarados. Is he going to Mega first turn? If not, what is he going to do? A Dragon Dance is a common first move from Gyarados / Mega Gyarados, getting that 1 stage boost to attack and speed. So either that or laying a substitute is also common, because behind that substitute you may be able to get 1 or 2 Dragon Dances off, which could really help your ability to sweep with Mega Gyarados, because Mega Gyarados is so naturally powerful and would be able to, with those 1 or 2 stage boosts to attack and speed, would almost be able to completely sweep Team Shanghai Alice's team. It would know Dragon type moves for the Kommo-o. Of course, it knows Water type moves for would know Water type moves for Blacephalon and Emboar. Chansey is already weak, and Lantern might be able to just chuck it down, although might have to be aware of water or electric type moves from Lantern. I don't know here. This will be interesting to see what Gyarados or Mega Gyarados goes for. Does he Mega first turn? That's a real question there. If he does, then he also runs the risk of eating a fighting type move from Emboar. Although Emboar is down 2 stages of attack, because Gyarados is carrying Intimidate as well. So Emboar really weak right now as far as its attack stat goes. It's not going to be doing a whole lot for this battle. But there is Toxic there. Gets a Toxic off. Earthquake, as I said, a lot of coverage moves for Mega Gyarados. So an Earthquake doesn't go for the substitute or Dragon Dance. We don't know if it's carrying it. Kommo-o comes out, does go Dragon Dance on Kommo-o's side, but it is immediately pressured by the Clefable. And the Clefable, oh boy, these nicknames for Mr. Mams. I know he said in chat earlier that we just have to wait for his nicknames, but there's something else here. I am not going to comment on the Kiro nickname, other than it's just after one of our members in League who liked to play Stall. I'll say that much. A Moonblast coming out, goes right into the Kommo-o for super effective damage, gets the KO. Poison Jab, also coming off of Kommo-o, was super effective on Clefable, but Clefable has plenty of bulk there, able to eat the super effective Poison Jab for almost 40%. But, of course, let's keep in mind that was weakened by the Kebbia Berry. So it would have been almost 80% there. Knockoff coming off of Clefable and going to knock off the leftovers off of Blacephalon. So no more recovery for Blacephalon from leftovers. Flamethrower coming off into Clefable. That's going to weaken it severely. Drampa coming off, going to eat, or coming out, sorry, going to eat a Flamethrower from Blacephalon there. It's only going to do about 17%. Of course, the HP gain of leftovers negated by the HP decrease or drain from burn. Now, Sea Light, the Lantern coming out here for going against Drampa. An interesting move here. And Scald coming out, that's only going to do about 10% because it's resisted. Dragon Pulse going to do a moderate amount there, 36%, which happens to be exactly how much HP is remaining for Lantern. So it could be a roll here, a damage roll, if it decides to get it. Now Berserk coming out here so really interesting there, going for the Thunderbolt, which doesn't do a whole lot. We've already seen that Lantern's moves aren't doing a whole lot to Drampa. And now Team Shanghai Alice down to 2 Pokemon. This is basically match because it's just Chansey and Blacephalon against Drampa, Mega Gyarados, Excadrill, Clefable, and Espeon. Now Chansey is bulky, but there's Toxic. Now Chansey does cure its status effect whenever it switches out. It has to be able to switch out in order to cure its status effect. If it can't switch out, that Toxic is going to stay on there and continue to drain HP every single turn, more and more. So this is Mr. Mams' battle to lose right now. Chansey going to stay in there for quite some time because really a Dragon Pulse onto Blacephalon should be a one-hit KO from about 50%. And here, a Roost coming off of Drampa. And now, so Drampa at full HP. Blacephalon 50%. Chansey in that it's still a high HP, but really neither Pokemon can do a whole lot of damage to Drampa. Shadow Ball isn't going to do much. We've seen Flamethrower from Blacephalon only do about 20%, less than 20%. Here we go, 18% onto Drampa. But Drampa, this is really Mr. Mams' battle to lose, as Blacephalon is just going to continue to eat damage every single turn, and Drampa has the recover from Roost to be able to recover HP. So this will be Blacephalon's final turn in this battle. And there's the GG coming out from Team Shanghai Alice. He knows this is over as Blacephalon goes down. GG coming out for Mr. Mams. And we have a champion for the UTL Draft League. It will be Mr. Mams and his Durham Dragonairs going up against the Memphis Mawiles there. So congratulations to Mr. Mams for this wonderful season here as the Toxic goes on to Chansey, and it's only a matter of time. Chansey will be able to last 1 or 2 more turns in this battle. Of course, it could drag it out into quite a long time to won it between Soft-Boiled, and that's really it. But that was it. So we have a champion. Berserk coming off there, of course, a couple more times that game. Raised Bolus's special attack there. But a very well done battle. Very well done to both teams. Thank you for joining me for this battle of the UTL and helping me to crown a new champion, Mr. Mams, for the UTL. I'm Professor Griffin. Have a great night, everyone, and be sure to join me next time for the next great battle in one of my many leagues.